Hello students, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll solve live the writing section of the October 2020 US SAT. I've already uploaded solutions to the math sections on the channel, so be sure to check those out. I'll link to them in the description box. So let's begin. Passage 1, Instrumental Repairs. Millions of musicians around the world, from school groups to rock bands to professional symphony orchestras, practice, perform, and travel regularly, meaning that they must make arrangements for their instruments to travel with them. Okay, so this question is about setting up the sentence that follows in the paragraph. So let's just read the next line. Guitars need new frets, clarinets need rusty keys cleaned or replaced, and pianos need to be tuned. For comprehensive maintenance and potent repairs, musicians need musical instrument technicians, trained professionals with an expert knowledge of both mechanics and music. So I'm speaking about the repair work that these instruments need and the professionals who do that. So when these musicians travel around the world, I think the best answer would be option B. Their instruments undergo considerable wear and tear, and that fits with the idea of guitars needing new frets, clarinets need their keys to be cleaned or replaced, and so on, right? Musician instruments traveling with them is fine, but that doesn't really explain why these instruments would need new parts, right? So A is not good. Introducing audiences worldwide to a range of musical instruments, that also doesn't explain the need for repair. And helping keep those who make instruments busy. It's not about those who make, it's about those who repair instruments, right? So B is the best answer. So B, okay. At this point, the writer is considering adding the following sentence. Piano tuning became a profession at the start of the 19th century when the harpsichord was superseded by the modern piano. So that doesn't make any sense here, right? Here we are speaking about the need for professionals who repair musical instruments. So I would not need to say this. So it's a no answer. No, because it fails to address the development of the modern guitar. That's not the reason. No, because it offers tangential information about piano tuning that interrupts the paragraph's progression of ideas, right? So you don't need to say that at this point. For comprehensive maintenance and potent repairs. Yeah, so I need to use a word which can go with comprehensive maintenance. So complete comprehensive maintenance and significant repairs, right? So maintenance is comprehensive and repairs are significant. Definite, conclusive, mean comprehensive, right? So I'm not establishing that inherent contrast by using those two. And potent doesn't fit the context here. So D is the best answer. For comprehensive maintenance and significant repairs, musicians need musical instrument technicians. Becoming a musical instrument technician requires dedication. It requires dedication to learning the intricacies of instruments. Many technicians are musicians themselves. Okay, so becoming a musical instrument technician requires dedication to learning the intricacies of instruments. This is the most concise answer and conveys the process or the idea best. One particular form of dedication, that is dedication, this is repetitive. Dedication to instruments intricacies that can only be learned. Okay, this doesn't read right and also doesn't convey it in a concise manner. Instruments intricacies be learned by individuals. Yeah, so again, this is too long. Many technicians are musicians themselves, right? Plural. Many technicians. This is plural, so they're musicians themselves. And some also have professional backgrounds in business, marketing, or engineering. They often attend technical schools or do apprenticeships with experienced technicians. Though technicians generally specialize in one or two instruments, they need to have extensive knowledge of various instrument types and brands, what kinds of routine maintenance need to be done on them, typical problems that occur, and how to repair damage. If an instrument is not performing to a musician's standards, a technician needs to be able to diagnose the problem and then advise the client and perform repair, right? So then, THEN, not THAN. This is for comparative. And advise, ADVISE, advise the client, because it's a verb, right? The one with C is a noun. But here I need a verb because the technician needs to be able to advise the client. So C. Likewise, a trumpet might not be functioning properly because the valves have become sticky, the joints have developed air leaks, or the metal parts have been dented. So this is an example of the work, right? So it's not likewise, it's for instance, right? It's an example, it's not furthermore either. So for instance, a trumpet might not be functioning properly because the valves have become sticky, the joints have developed air leaks, or the metal parts have been dented. So here I'll just go with option A. A simple comma with or makes sense. This semicolon is not correct because the part after the semicolon should not take an or. Yeah, I don't need a comma after or, so that is wrong. And this dash is not correct. Musical instrument technicians are needed in a variety of settings. Large instrument manufacturers such as Steinway, for example, hire instrument technicians, hire because plural, right? They hire, manufacturers hire instrument technicians to work at their factories and retail stores. Some technicians get to work at concert venues and music festivals, setting up instruments and keeping equipment in optimal shape. Tom Weber, a concert technician for 40 years, has traveled extensively and maintained guitars for acts such as Van Halen and Reba McEntire, restringing guitars before each show. He has never had an artist break a string on stage, he says. After obtaining her certification in piano tuning and technology, Michelle Lamb worked as a piano repair intern and then decided to start her own business. Michelle's melody, fine piano tuning and repair. She travels to homes and businesses fixing pianos. For one job, she even helped refurbish a 40-year-old grand piano. Okay, the writer wants to add this sentence. Other technicians open their shops to serve their communities. So even when you were reading it, you saw that this Tom Weber was given as an example of technicians working at concert venues. And then I suddenly jumped to Michelle Lamb without giving context for what kind of work she does. So she is the kind of technician uh, who serve their communities. So this would come after sentence 5. Though considerable study and practice are necessary to join the field, musical instrument technicians perform a vital service for musicians and audiences. Live performances, studio sessions, and the careers of individual musicians all rely on instrument technicians to keep equipment in top shape. So all rely on, right? No change. This and this is clearly wrong. And a semicolon cannot come here because I'm saying these all, this is part of the subject, all rely on. Okay, remix, reuse, repurpose. Digital technology has expanded opportunities for creative expression, no matter the art form. Which choice introduces the topic of the passage? Okay, the spread of software that can be used to cut parts from different songs and paste them together has spurred, right? The spread of software. This is the subject and this is singular. The spread of software has spurred the creation of a music genre known as remix or mashup. Opponents of this art form maintain that remix artists violate copyright law because they borrow material from protected works to the financial detriment of the original artist. Financial detriment, that's a good word. Financial detriment meaning the financial loss, right? And to the detriment. Detriment always takes to. So you always says to the detriment. Yeah, deterioration is not correct because you can't really use it with financial, right? To deteriorate is to go down in quality. Like for example, the building has deteriorated over the years. Wounding doesn't fit the context, and limitation also doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm talking about loss. So to the financial detriment of the artist. However, remixing is a culturally valuable art form that often benefits the artist whose material is used, and its designation as copyright infringement warrants reconsideration. Okay, so digital technology has expanded opportunities for creative expression, uh, especially in music, right? Because I'm talking about remixing. So I'll go with D for this. Yeah. Greg Gillis, aka Girl Talk, has been involved in debates about the legality of remix art for more than a decade. Using only a laptop, Gillis collects samples from songs ranging from rock ballads to hip hop, cuts them to different lengths, some as short as a single drum beat, and arranges them. Arranges them, right? Parallel structure, she collects, she cuts, and she arranges them into a different form. Although his, it's a he, although his critically acclaimed 2006 album Night Ripper consists of hundreds of samples from different artists, Gillis believes his songs are original because they recontextualize the source material into a new whole. Okay, so here you don't need this comma because I'm picking up a part of what Gillis said and I'm kind of putting it in my main sentence, right? So you use a comma before a quotation when you say something like Gillis said, and then you give his entire quotation, right? But that's not what I'm doing. I'm just picking up the predicate from the verb onwards and I'm putting it and kind of melding it into my sentence. So I don't need any punctuation here. Gillis believes his songs are original because they recontextualize the source material into a new whole. His music provides new ways of relating. I've answered all questions here, right? Yeah. His music provides new ways of relating to the old. Listeners may revisit a song they had previously dismissed when they find themselves enjoying it mixed with a song they love. So he believes his sampling qualifies as fair use, a legally permissible borrowing of copyrighted material for a transformative purpose. A legally permissible borrowing of, right? Legal and lawful, this is repetitive, so this is redundant. So it's out. Legal acquisition through borrowing, this is self-contradictory. To acquire is to kind of come to possess it, and borrowing is to just keep it for a time before you return. Valid means or acceptable method, in other words, to borrow. Okay, this is just not concise, repetitive, etc. So the way it's written is fine. Legally permissible borrowing of copyrighted material. To improve the cohesion and flow, the writer wants to add the following sentence. His songs are composed entirely of samples, excerpts taken from one song for use in another. Okay, so I'm kind of explaining what he does, right? Has been involved in debates about the legality of remix art. Using only a laptop, he collects samples from songs and cuts them into different forms. His songs are composed entirely of samples. Yeah, so I'm explaining that here, so it will come after sentence one. Yeah. For material to qualify as fair use, however, the borrower must not only transform the meaning of the original, but also, something If using a sample hurts the sale of a copyrighted work, then it does not qualify as fair use. It must not only transform the meaning of the original, but also not damage its economic value, right? Because it should not hurt the sales of the original work. Yeah, incorporating its more memorable aspects, commentary or criticism, yeah, those don't make sense. If using a sample hurts the sale of a copyrighted work, then it does not qualify as fair use. In such cases, the law requires the borrower to obtain a license from the copyright owner, a process that legal scholar Lawrence Lessig describes as prohibitively costly and cumbersome for independent artists. Gillis, though, contends that his work does not hurt but rather promotes interest in the source material. A girl talk song that features the notorious Big and Elton John might send listeners running to hear more from the Brooklyn rapper and the British songsmith. Although it is important to protect artists, right? It is important to protect artists by not allowing complete copies of their work to be distributed without permission. Remix art is not a mere verbatim copy, but a repurposing of source material that makes its audience think. Its audience, yeah, we need the pronoun ITS, right? The audience for remix art. So it's this. Think about how one piece of art fits into the broader cultural landscape. The law should encourage, not inhibit, this creative interaction with culture, especially when the remix is widely popular. The writer wants the conclusion to restate an important idea, especially when the remix uh, improves on the source material, right? Because that's what it was saying earlier. Um, Often benefits and it's like, is it improves on the source material or especially when it renews interest in the original? I think it's not really about improving, but about renewing interest, right? You can see that might send listeners running to here. So I'll go with D for this. Okay, I think we'll do two passages for now, and the other two passages we'll do in another video. So let's grade this. Yeah. So I'll just come back to this. Question 1. Okay, BDDBC, BDDBC, CBAD, CBAD, CA. Okay, DBAB, DBAB, CAAB, CAAB, 19, yeah, and then CBD. Okay, great. So we got all correct. Hope this was useful. I think these writing walkthroughs are especially useful for expression of ideas questions like question 22, where you kind of have to understand the context and the flow of information to answer. If it's grammar you're struggling with, then check out the topic-wise grammar drills that I have uploaded. Those will help you with particular grammar questions. I'll see you guys in another video soon. Do let me know what other help you need. Take care. Bye-bye.